Okay, welcome to the team call for Wednesday, April 6th. And I was talking to some of my leaders this week and I was asking, what do you guys think the team needs? And they said, I think we need a call on mindset. And I've been speaking on mindset for months and months and months now. This was actually the first Super Saturday event this past weekend that I didn't talk on mindset. But when I was spending some time at Christina Delgado's house and spending some time with the Miami coaches, I realized that even the successful coaches in this business struggle with mindset. So it's really special for me that I can share what I've learned about mindset with you guys. Just as much as I'm obsessed with coaching, I'm obsessed with mindset. So I really want to just kind of throw it out there for you guys today. A lot of you have heard me speak on mindset, but I definitely have some things that I haven't shared with you guys before. And today when I sat down on my computer, I was just kind of feeling like overwhelmed and I wasn't really feeling like working today. And my goal right now is to teach you guys what I've done every single day since becoming a coach. And I realized even today, like I had to get myself in the mood to work. I had to get myself in the mood to do my workout today. And I'm realizing that the only difference between maybe where I'm at and a few other people within our organization is that I basically sometimes don't give myself the choice to talk myself out of what I need to do. And that comes a lot from mindset and perspective. So just kind of diving right into this, I want you guys to kind of just do a self-reality check, do a gut check with yourself, and you all know the things you're supposed to do, right? And I understand we're busy, but let's just say when you do have the time and when you are focusing on Beachbody, are you giving yourself the choice to shy away from the things that you need to do? If you're a brand new coach, guys, this is not rocket science. As a brand new coach, you actually have the upper hand over the coaches that have been doing this anywhere from a year or 2 to 3 years or however long. Because in the beginning, it's pretty easy to get excited about a fitness program, post every day on social media. You have a warm market, you have family, you have friends. You absolutely can help 3 people a month. I promise you. But it's not just about posting. It's about the behind the scenes stuff, everything we talked about last week on the team call. So social media is definitely a huge part of our business. Doing the trainings, getting your workout in, drinking your shake every day, getting on the team calls. But I just want you to simplify the process and have the mindset that I have the ability to see success early on in this business by strictly doing the things that we're telling you guys to do. If you are overwhelming yourself with the trainings, if you're overwhelming yourself with the self-doubt, the I can'ts, all the reasons why you think you can't do this, it's going to drag you down. So let's say you've been a coach for 6 months and you feel like you're not quite seeing the results that you want to see in your business. Just ask yourself, am I doing the things with 10 times the effort that I know I should be putting in that my coaches are telling me to do? If the answer is yes, then we definitely have a problem, but the answer is usually no. So again, mastering your mindset isn't just about thinking about rainbows and butterflies. It's about that self-reflection and that gut check of, am I honestly doing everything I can to be successful? And I had to do that for myself this morning, which is why I think this call is so fitting for tonight. Because trust me, guys, at 3 years in, there are many days where sometimes it feels monotonous, but the reward of what I experience and the things that I love in this business, the things like the trips and meeting new coaches and earning an income, getting in shape, that's all the fun stuff. But the daily grind is going to be what gives me those rewards. So just get in the mindset that's why we have you guys read The Compound Effect, because all those small actions over time are going to be what equals in the long run your success. So if you've been a coach for XYZ amount of months or years, you have to look back at all the days that you just said, I didn't feel like doing it today. Okay, so the beginning is pretty easy. You guys are all starting to grow a team now. Just simplify it for your team. Hold them accountable. Are they posting 3 to 5 times a day publicly about their story, struggles, vulnerability, fitness, food, whatever their type of brand may be? If they're a mom, if they're a dad, all the things that you want to share, that's where you start. Are they messaging people, connecting with people? Are they comfortable in inviting? This is the type of leader mindset that you have to have. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of the mindset. Those are just some random notes from the beginning, but I do want to do a little bit of the mindset call that I do. I've done it over 110 times now. I'm still kind of keeping track. But I just want to go there a little bit with you guys because we have such a new team, and I know a lot of people are going to watch this recording. So a lot of people think that the whole mindset thing, the compound effect. It is a book, Christy, yes. So it should be when you do your Getting Started Right phone call with your coach, that should be the first book that they recommend for you. It's by Darren Hardy. So a lot of people don't think that mindset is something that they should really pay attention to because they think that it's hocus pocus. And what I've learned in this business is that the only thing that is going to hold you back is the way that you think, the action you take, and your perspective on this. So hopefully you guys wholeheartedly believe in this opportunity. Hopefully you believe in this team to be able to help you see success in life in this business, right? But a lot of people don't have the mindset that they can do this. You're probably like, oh, well, Emily's face is on my screen, so Emily can do this. Jen can do this. Craig can do this because he's Craig, because she's Emily. But what you need to believe, and you need to gut check your perspective, is that you can do this. So tomorrow morning when you guys wake up, what's the first thing that pops into your mind? Are you like, oh, I'm at Success Club Zero. Oh, I only got paid $15 last week. Oh, it's too cold. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh, I spilled my Shakeology. Oh, my coaches are driving me crazy. No one wants to join my team, and you haven't even got out of bed yet. Guys, the first hour of your day is the most important because I'm sure you guys know that, right? If you're not filling it with personal development, if you're not doing the things that I don't want to keep saying telling you to do because it just sounds awful, but we're trying to help you guys see how this can change your life. And what I've learned is that if you were to remove coaching from your life, what would be left? You would be in the same scenario as when you started, and you joined for a reason. I mean, maybe it was to just get in shape, right? But you sure as heck didn't reach out to your coach or say yes to their invite just because you felt like spending $140 in your challenge pack. You did this for a reason. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what thoughts are you allowing into your mind. And if you guys don't think I struggle with that every single day too, and I had to really gut check myself this winter when I had to wake up and bring my husband to chemo and then still work my business and still do my workout. And I had to be so strong. So when life throws you a curveball, or if this business throws you a curveball, ask yourself, am I mentally tough and ready for the challenge? Because 99% of my conversations with coaches that are feeling stuck, it's just that they're focusing their mindset on the problem rather than being solution oriented. That's what perspective is. That's what mastering your mindset means. If I spent all day complaining about the things that drive me crazy, I would not get anything done because that would basically be our whole day. And unfortunately, that's a lot of America's day. They wake up, they complain, they drive to work, they're in traffic, they get to their job, they hate their boss. It's never ending. Does everyone hate their job? Does everyone hate their boss? No. But when you look around, not everyone's smiling. Not everyone's happy. So you need to control the controllable, which is your mindset, because you cannot control everything else around you. So when I read books, I learn about successful people. And it's really funny because even Darren Hardy and Tony Robbins, they all say the same exact thing. Do what successful people do. Yet there are still people in this business who choose to just simply not do the things that successful people are telling them to do. So one of the things that I learned early on is that I needed to change my attitude. I needed to change my approach on things. I needed to change a lot of things because I was a real big Debbie Downer, believe it or not. And I still struggle with it some days, but I have a better handle on it. But the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is the way that they think. And so, yes, reading The Compound Effect is really important because you need to understand that those small actions over time will bring you results. But for me, my biggest piece of advice for you guys is to read the books that are going to help you and your soul and your brain. Because think about it. Like, I'm not putting handcuffs on you guys saying, Emily, nope, you cannot be successful. Candace, nope, you cannot be successful. And again, I'm just picking names because you guys are on the screen, but we don't have handcuffs on you guys saying you don't have the ability to do this. Literally, anyone at any time can sit down and get to work day after day after day and start to see success with this. But it's up to you. You have to practice good thinking, because what happens when you sit down and then you start feeling bad and then you're scared and you just feel like you can't do it? That's the handcuffs, guys. It's your mindset. So what you need to do is just like training your muscles. It takes time and it takes effort, which is why personal development is what I talk about 24/7. I was talking to Craig today behind the scenes, and he's like, he wanted to share that the video about Shakeology and Omni Health and all that was super awesome. And Craig, totally share it because you guys, I think that's great. But like in my world, the way that my brain thinks is the only thing I really need to help you guys with to be successful is the way you think, because nothing else matters. You already know that you have to invite and do your workout and drink your shake and add friends on Facebook. Every single one of us has to do that in the exact same way. But it is up to you to master your mindset. So that is why I love personal development, because it's going to train your brain. Just like these workouts train your muscles, the only thing holding you back is the things that are floating around in your head. And so I promise you, I guarantee you that you will have struggles in this business that you're like, why? What am I doing wrong? I did this. Why did this happen? And instead of worrying so much about that, because how much time is spent in that worry of, that didn't work. Like all the stress, because again, the typical human brain goes to analyzing and beating ourselves up. And that's another reason why I used to hate my old job. They would sit me down and tell me that I would do a great job and then basically tell me all the things I did wrong. And so in this job, I want you guys to get away from that. And I want you to focus on the things that you can do to move forward, be action-oriented. Because when things get hard, and I'm guaranteeing that they will, do you crumble or do you conquer? And every day I face that. Every single day, it's my ability and my mental toughness to stand back up and just keep course correcting again and again and again. And I meant to write down the quote, but I'll kind of paraphrase it. People think that their problem is that they have a problem. But the problem is truly that people think they're not supposed to have problems. So they start freaking out that they have a problem. Hopefully you followed that. So don't freak out when there is a problem, because it's supposed to be there. It is what it is. We all have the same challenges in one way or another. Successful people practice good thinking. They are solution-oriented. They will read personal development, and they have the confidence that they'll figure it out. That's really what a leader is. Because you'll go into a funk in this business, and then you'll start to be really sad, and you'll start to think that I can't do this, or I thought I was going to be successful with this. And who can pull you out of that funk? Not your wife, not your husband, not your upline. It has to be you. And I treat this as $1 million business. When I first signed up as a coach, I wasn't saying I was going to make $1 million. That would be great. That will be great when I do someday. But to be honest, I treated this like a business, as if my boss was looking over my shoulder every single day and I was clocking into work. And so the problem, well, I don't want to use the word problem, but I guess the issue with this business is that we don't have a boss. And so you have to have that mindset of, if I don't do X, Y, Z, I will not get a paycheck, or I will not see results. And it takes so long. It's like that consistency of the small actions adds up like crazy. Way more than you would ever believe. There'll be slow seasons. Right now is not slow season. But let's say that you kind of just didn't do work in December, or your new year wasn't that great. That's probably showing up right now for you. Or let's say you did amazing in November, December, January, February, and now you're struggling. That is what we call a season. something new. You have to try a new avenue, try a new platform, add new friends, get more aggressive, challenge yourself to something new and different. That's in this business what you have to do. You have to have the mindset of good thinking, not worrying about, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. You have to be strong and understand that, okay, I need to try something new, or maybe I need to do this a little bit different. Don't get down on yourself for too long. When your rank drops, I've gone backwards in income before. Coaching isn't for everyone. It may happen. I hope it doesn't to you. It did for me. So I can empathize with you guys. And I believe that everything happened to me for a reason during the last 3 years of coaching the way it did. So that when it happens to you, I can say, hey, I've been there. And this is what I did. 99% of it, to be honest, was mindset and talking myself through it every single day. So how do people do the unthinkable? I mean, when you look at Team Beachbody coaching, people, earning X amount of dollars a week, maybe that inspires you. Maybe you look at Craig and you're like, dude, bro, you lost 100 pounds. How the hell did you do that? I can't even lose 5 pounds, right? You probably look at people in this business and you're like, how did you do it? That blows my mind. I can tell you right now what they did do is that they trained their brain every single day. And it might sound boring, it might not sound all fancy, but that's what it is. That's why success in this business is so simple, but it's so easy not to do it as well. Because I'm sure that there's a million other things Craig would have loved to do, like maybe sleep, or maybe he didn't want to, but hey, we all want to do other things, right? But he knows that this is important to him. If it's important to you, if you're on this call tonight, I guarantee it's important to you. When no one is in your face, when there's no motivation there, what decision do you make in those moments? And you have to be in control of that. Okay, so why is a strong mind crucial? This is probably something that still drives me to this day. Why should you give 2 hoots about what I'm saying right now? And it's because people without a strong mind look to others for validation. And what that means is, if you're not sure about something and your mind isn't so strong that you can make it up for yourself, you're always asking for advice and you're always asking, should I do this? Rather than just taking it by the you-know-what and freaking doing it. That's called failing forward. Try it, doesn't work. Try it, doesn't work. Rather than wasting your time, of course you can ask for advice. I'm not saying not to, but for me, I think it takes me longer to reach out to my coach and ask for advice and get a critique rather than just doing it and learning from it. So if you have a strong mind, you don't need anyone else's permission to be you and to do you. Do you know how freeing that is to wake up every single day and not care? And I don't say that egotistically, but I'm okay with being me. And if someone wants to judge me, I'm okay with that. Of course, we all have class. We do it in a classy way. But I'm okay with sharing what I want to share and not dwelling if someone's going to judge me in a wrong way. Because I've made up my mind that this is what I want to do. Okay. I talked a little bit about this. It's a daily effort. It takes time. And you have to build yourself up to it. This is basically like rewiring your brain a little bit. And so if for the last few months you kind of let yourself not work out and let yourself not post, you're instilling those beliefs and values into your business. You're making it okay. And for me, I had to rewire my brain literally to notice when I was talking negative, whether it was out loud or silently. I had to catch myself in that moment when you say things like, I suck, I can't do this. All the things we tell ourselves, you have to catch yourself in that moment and say, that is not the way a successful person thinks. I used to have to look myself in the mirror and be like, girl, stand up on your own 2 feet and get it done. Because I know you don't want to be in this life. I know you want to, in the old life, meaning that life. I know you want to see results. I knew what I wanted, but I had to convince myself and rewire my brain. It was like rewiring my belief system almost, because I was told at a job basically that I wasn't good enough for so many years. Or I was told by my friends that Team Beachbody Coaching, I actually went out to dinner the other night. I've been doing this 3 years. I'm pretty successful with it, and my friends still hated on it. Shame on them, but you know what? It fuels me. You have to have a strong mind, guys. You got to toughen up. Rewiring your brain, catching yourself in the moment. Let's talk a little bit about empowering yourself. so you can join this team and you can be a part of the community. But if you're not doing the things outside of your comfort zone, you will never move forward. You have to look at your little comfort zone. And for me, I love to dive in. I'm like, give me all the adrenaline, give me all the scary things. But not everyone's like that. I totally understand that. But you have to take a step in the right direction. That's up to you. That's why mastering your mindset is so important. And the beautiful thing about mindset is that typically we're fearful. So that's why we don't step out of our comfort zone, right? We're afraid of X, Y, Z. When you understand, and sometimes you have to hear this 10 times to really get it, that fear is emotional. I cannot touch it. I cannot see it. It's all made up where? Up here. So that is why if you're scared of something, you just need to be able to flip that switch and dive in. Flip that switch and dive in. And it gets easier, I promise. And when I stop and think about truly what we're doing here, I don't see it so scary. I see it as empowering. It will build your confidence. If you feel like you're lacking mojo, if you feel like you're lacking confidence, you need this. That is why you have to do this. When I stopped living the victim role, which was telling myself I lost my job so I can't be successful, or I have herniated discs, my neck always hurts, XYZ, whatever my reasons were, guys, I kept telling myself that I couldn't do it because of that. But a successful person does what? They practice good thinking. So now all the reasons before why I couldn't do something, I flip it around. That's how I got through cancer and chemo, guys. You think that shit was easy? No, it wasn't. It was the hardest thing ever. And it doesn't have to be cancer, it doesn't have to be chemo, but I had to ask myself, what would a successful person do right now? They wouldn't sit in the corner. They wouldn't tell their team that they're not showing up today. They will go press play on their workout. They will post 3 to 5 times a day. I had to rewire my brain. So don't live in the victim role because that's not going to inspire people. Be the victor. You got to toughen up for that, right? When you understand that it's all a self-limitation, basically the same story that we tell ourselves. When you understand that you have control over it, that it's your mind, you, and yourself, and that is it, in a way, or your family, of course, include them too, but in a way, it's just you. You'll start to feel really empowered that you have control. You're gonna be like, I really do. Like, I right now can work for the next hour and work on Saturday for an hour and Sunday for a few hours and keep working towards what you want, the compound effect. You will feel like a badass. Don't be scared of it. Dive in. So a lot of people always say that failure is my biggest fear. And I'm going to say this like a million times, but what do successful people do? They practice good thinking. So if you were to say right now that failing is your biggest fear, and that's why you're not diving into this, I'm going to urge you to rewire your brain in that aspect. Because you can't fail at this business, guys. Like you really can't. The only time you fail is when you quit, and I like to add, or don't try. And if you put up a post, guys, that's what I call 1x effort. You put in 1x effort. You did a post. Awesome. You need to do that like 10x. You need to put in that much more effort to see the success that you want. And that's usually the problem. We're kind of wired to think that, hey, I showed up. Why aren't I seeing results? That's the problem. That's why I'm obsessed with that 10x rule. That's why I did that academy for you guys, is truly to get the results that you want, you've got to put in 10x effort. What's awesome about this business is you can do it from an iPhone, an iPad, a computer. I can do it while I'm camping next weekend. You can do it from anywhere. So like the whole time thing kind of throws me off sometimes because the behind the scenes stuff definitely takes time. But you can definitely cluster it together during the week. You have a lot of hours during the week. And if you put in the time in the first year to 2 years, your third year, your 2-year mark, you will be so happy you did. So if failure is your biggest fear, I want you guys to replace the word failure with the word stumble. Because again, you can't fail in this business. So we're going to completely remove that. because that's just your little safety zone and saying that I'm afraid to fail. But we can't fail unless we quit or don't try. And if you're willing to try, maybe you'll stumble. That's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. You're going to stumble around. You're going to be a fish out of water for a little bit. But who's pointing fingers at you? Do you have a boss that's like, dude, that post was horrible? Or, hey, you didn't hit Success Club last month. You're fired. That doesn't happen here. So just keep getting back up. Stumble a little bit. Flail around. Who cares? We all know that we have to fail forward. So if you were to say stumbling is my biggest fear, what does that sound like? It basically sounds like you're not willing to try. Again, just self-reality check. So let's say you did something and it didn't work out the way you wanted. Is that a failure? Nope. It's only a delay, guys. It's only a delay. Because when you wake up tomorrow and on May 1st and on January 1st, 2017, you have a whole fresh slate every single day, every single month, every single year. That's the way successful people think. And I love this business because you can't fail at it. So personal development. When something happens now in my life, I feel equipped. I feel capable. And that's what Team Beachbody does, guys. Before Team Beachbody, I guarantee that if something was to happen, what would be your reaction? Freak out, get mad, make a silly post, you hate life, be mad and argue with your fiance or whatever, you know? Now I understand how I should respond. Before in life, I was reacting. When something happened, freak out, be mad, be angry. But as a successful person, what I've learned from coaching, and that's why I don't shut up about coaching, is that I respond and I handle, and maybe my solution doesn't always work, but I feel capable and I don't feel like my life is ending. Because I used to be like a freak out, worry-wart type of person. So you've got to build up that mental toughness to be able to handle those struggles. Your personal development is what I call your toolbox. Every time you listen to a webinar, every time you hear a quote that inspires you, every time you see a story that inspires you, all the PD stuff we do, you're adding tools to your tool belt. So when you have a situation tomorrow and you feel like life is on fire, you're whipping out a tool and you feel capable to handle it. If you don't take PD seriously, you're not taking this business seriously, because all this journey really is a personal growth journey. You're physically growing, you're understanding how to treat your body and how to change it and how to love on it and all those things. You're mentally part of something that is changing the world. Financially, you all know that. And emotionally. I mean, for me, I was the most broken, effed up person before I started coaching. You guys have no idea. It was like so dark. And I go back, and sometimes now I think I'm so passionate about this because I see so many people living how I used to live. And I'm like, please just let me help you. But it's 80% mindset, 20% mechanics. So you guys know that at a certain point, you're supposed to make trainings, and you know that you're supposed to make videos and that you're supposed to grow your audience. That is totally up to you. Yes, Dream Corp shows you all those things, but just ask yourself, are you willing to master your mindset before you even go into the action part? Every single day, it takes time. And so I always wondered for a really, really long time, like, how do these people become unstoppable? It's like they wake up and they just crush their day and they go to bed and they do it again and again. And I'm so inspired by those people, Beachbody or not. And I wanted to be one of those people finally, because I felt so victimized in my life for so long. I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I had bad luck, all those things. But instead now, I truly, honestly feel capable of handling anything that comes my way. And I want all of you to feel that unstoppable feeling. If you have a family, if you have kids, please think about this and what this can do for your family. One of the most inspiring coaches in the world to me, I got to spend this weekend with, her name's Becky Brosette. Her little 7 and 9-year-old kids listen to PD on their way to school in the morning. Mom, put on the PD. I want to hear PD. And they're like yelling and chanting like quotes. Could you imagine if your parents put PD on in the car when we were kids? I'm pretty sure we'd all be Tony Robbins right now, right? Do this for your family. Do it for you. That is like the coolest thing ever. That's why I'm in love with this opportunity. So one last kind of closing thought for you guys. Whenever I work out, I just finished my workout, things are always popping into my mind. And I started to think, about if I didn't have a team like you guys, if I didn't have the 40 people sitting here in front of me, if I didn't have my personally sponsored coaches who actually want to do this with me, who are doing this with me, how much would I hate my job if I didn't have you guys? I would feel like a failure. I would feel like I'm not helping anyone. So you have to keep inviting people and find those people that want to do this with you, because otherwise this job is not fun. I am here for the people who want this. So don't think of inviting as, ew, I'm inviting someone to this business thing. Invite someone into the world that is changing your life, or maybe that you're going to start allowing to change your life. Maybe you're new, so that you can enjoy it with them. Because when they message you one day and say, because of you, I did X, Y, Z, that's what keeps me going every single day. I'll never forget when Candace was posting online every day, basically coaching. And I was just like, I didn't even know how to invite then. I think I probably did like a 6-month invite. I was liking and commenting on her posts. I didn't have, like, no one told me what I should say to invite. I didn't even know what invite meant, which is why I was like 18 months behind when I started. But then I finally got it, and I was like, okay, put 2 and 2 together. This person's awesome. I love connecting with her. Oh, maybe she should be a coach. Okay, now I'm going to ask her. It was like a 6-month process. And when I found out that she didn't even live with her husband and that they had separate jobs and that she wanted to match her corporate income, I was like, I want to help this girl. She was like my first real coach in the Dreamport page besides my best friend. And I was like, let's do this. And so here we are almost 2 years later. And I just, I've been working closely with her lately. And I was able to help her identify a new season in her business. I was able to help her identify where she's going next. That to me is just like mind blown. It's just the most amazing thing. So please practice good thinking in terms of what a successful person thinks like when you're inviting people to this business. If you love it, why do you love it? Share it every day. And the last thing, I promise, just do what successful people are doing. Maybe you don't relate to your upline exactly. Like, for example, I have moms on my team. I'm not a mom. I'm a dog mom, but I don't have kids. So for me, like, I tell my coaches, basically just do what I do, guys, but put your story in. Do what your upline is doing. Do what the successful coach is doing that you see. It is not difficult. Go to their page every day. Take some notes. Do not steal their posts. Get inspired by their posts. Just have fun with this. And it's like, don't overcomplicate it. Don't be a collector of information. Just do what you see other successful people doing. Okay, I want to see this chat box. I overheard my best friend telling someone she did her time with me as a coach. At first I was hurt, and then I was like, I don't care. I have people that want this. Yeah, dude, so that's the thing. Like, it stings so bad that you just feel crushed and broken. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I cried for like an hour driving home the other day. And I haven't cried like that in a long time. You want to know why? Because I wasn't picked to speak at Summit. And you guys know, I like to talk. I like to preach. And to me, I have all my best friends up there and I'm not up there. If I didn't have my personal development switch to Flip, who knows, I would have quit. I mean, I have no idea. I would, of course, never quit. But if I didn't have the mindset I have now, I don't know what I would have done. You know what I told myself? There's a bigger and better opportunity for me down the road. Most people would never be okay with telling themselves that. But I've worked on it. And for the record, I will speak at Summit next year or the National Leader Conference. I'm throwing it out there. Do you guys have, I know like today was more of like a preaching talk and things like that, but do you guys have any questions? You can unmute yourself or you can ask in the chat box.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I think my team is struggling right now where they feel like they're doing everything. They're sharing consistently during the day multiple times. They really are. I'm seeing it. They are bringing up the opportunity and they're struggling with Success Club. I mean, I struggle with Success Club, which is probably why they're struggling with Success Club. So just any advice you have, I mean, I kind of think they might need a new approach or just ways to freshen things up when things are getting stale.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's a great question because I've been there too, which is the benefit of me being in this a little bit longer. I was a big Success Club hitter in the beginning. And then all of a sudden so I joined July 2013. Come February 2014, when the 21-day fix came out. Guys, the 21-day fix was launching and I couldn't hit Success Club. I was like, what do I do? And so I had to do something different. I had to do something new. And so for me, I was like, okay, I guess maybe I do a like page, or maybe I need to change my invites, or maybe I need to be really bold and courageous. And I had to just keep kind of chipping away at trying new things. And of course, Emily, everything is different for everyone. So that's why I like working with me. I know we're going to work together, and kind of analyzing where these coaches are at. To be honest, sometimes it's the smallest tweak, and sometimes we're focusing on fitness and health too much. So what I realized is that in that time, I was like, okay, I've hit Success Club. I've helped people with health and fitness, but I haven't really been sharing with people that I'm leading the business, or that I'm speaking on team calls, or that I am able to mentor people. And so just like I was sharing in the inviting connecting script team call last week, you have 2 invite processes. So if they're sharing every day, I'm sure this is common on the whole team, that's great. Health and people know that we're doing health and fitness by, a certain amount of months, they get that. So it's kind of like, that's usually where it's a good signal if they're struggling to kind of start to think about the business side. So it's a new avenue. It's a new approach. I have found sometimes I was putting like $5 a day on my ads for a week and things like that. Because think about it. I only need to help 3 to 5 people a month. The more people that I'm adding in different networks, and the more I'm sharing and showing something different all the time, the better chance I have of helping 3 to 5 people a month. So I specifically remember that time in my business when I was like, dang, my warm market, I guess it's dried up. And it happens. That's why we tell you guys, you have to be confident enough to eventually try out other avenues. Like when I was hitting Success Club 44, I thought that I was like king of the hill. And then all of a sudden I was at like Success Club 2 and I was like, crap, what am I going to do? So that's what we call a new season. But I want you guys to have a good thinking practice, meaning, hey, I get to try something new and different. So not easy to do, I know, because it's kind of like Candace and I just went through this. She's like, I have these people that want my help, but I was able to help Candace kind of channel in what she needed to focus on. And she didn't realize that she was supposed to spend more time behind the scenes talking with them rather than just helping her team. So that's kind of where the upline comes in, is we're just kind of like, okay, lay out what you're doing for me. And it's all honesty. That's kind of hard for some people, holding them accountable. And I found the smallest little thing that we had to tweak, and it's like, her life has probably changed now. Right, Candace? So yeah, that's a good season. That's an exciting season. That means something new and upcoming. Isn't that okay? So I want to read what Stacy just wrote in the chat box. A lot of people think that this is BS, and it's not, because we repeat it over and over again. And look at Stacy believed it. She said, I struggled a lot with Success Club. I only hit it for the first time in March. The one thing that was holding me back was that even though I kept telling myself I believed in myself and that I could do this, I really just wanted to believe. When I actually believed I could do this, boom. And I'm really bad at sometimes conveying my message, but Stacy probably didn't realize it, but in the back of her head, subconsciously, she had that worry and fear and doubt. And so she decided like, hey, I'm just going to freaking believe. And I'm going to it's that everyday effort of filling your brain with positivity. And that's what ends up happening. So congrats, Stacy. That's awesome. See, yeah, that's exactly it. She said, it's so true.
I mean, I know for myself, Colleen, I've had that since day one. I'm really lucky that I had that since day one. And I think that helps because I've gotten on these calls and I've noticed other coaches that I watch, and I'm not going to name people and knock anybody, but if you're not getting on the calls and you're not listening and you're not doing your research, you're not going to hit Success Club. No matter how hard you believe in it, you need to do the work too. That's the other thing too. And listen to your uplines. Like, you guys are here for a friggin' reason. You guys have been doing this for so long. And like, Janelle will real deal me if I post something and it's not like up to par. She legitimately sends me a text message and says, hey, straighten that shit out. You could have done so much better if you did this. And I'm like, no kidding. I was so friggin' excited. I didn't think of that. And I will legit go back in and tweak it. Like, I just did it yesterday. And I'll do my best to do it. And then I got a shit ton more responses from after the tweak that she suggested. And you know what? It's honest criticism. And you got to take it. You really do.
Yeah. That was one thing, being when you have a team and you're recruiting, it's really hard to learn everyone's love languages, because I have to remember some people that come to me are at the ultimate low in their life. Not everyone, but I've definitely had those broken people where I just want to kiss them and love them. But then at the same time, it's like, we got to get this going for them. And so if I was like, yo, your post, whatever, like, that doesn't work for everyone. But eventually, when we can get you to that confident, healthy vibe from personal development, then you become coachable. And it's so magical when you can just be like, hey, Candace, let's do this. Or, hey, Craig, let's do this. And then we start cranking it out faster. And then you feel good, because then you feel like you're getting something done. Did I miss something that someone else said? Can we share more revised posts? Like, here's what I started with, here's what I ended with. Yeah, for sure. So if you guys are working with your coaches, and one thing we don't want to do, and this is what Bonnie taught me, I try not to micromanage, because it's really important for a coach to kind of figure out that something isn't working for themselves too. So when you're working together in a mentorship, absolutely, let your coaches know, but in a way, give them that gap to kind of figure it out, so that when they come to you, then they can kind of reflect back on it. Because if we were to micromanage everyone, that's what we call emotional vampires. And then there's nothing left for us, right? So it's a really hard balance, because we're like, we just want to help you so bad. I really still struggle with that. But if you guys are working with your coaches and you can share in the team page how you change something, that would be great, because then we can learn from one another. And I think that this team does an amazing, for the ones who do post and for the ones who do share their story, you guys are just so talented, and I appreciate it, because it helps the whole team. So if you're still trying to find your voice, that is when you do need to follow a top coach or a coach that inspires you. And look at your page and look at their page. And if your posts don't, and I don't mean look the same in terms of the actual words, but you can kind of glance at it and be like, okay, my posts do not look like that. That's when we need to work together. And that's a comfort zone for a lot of people. So any other questions? All right, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm reading next. So if you have not read the short story, The Go-Giver by Bob Burg, you need to get on it. Because I specifically remember where I was sitting. I remember what I was wearing. I remember the book when I had my aha moment from this book, The Go-Giver. Now I'm reading The Go-Giver Leader. I picked it up in the airport, but The Go-Giver is so special because it will open your eyes to a whole new perspective. Because right now your focus is here. When sometimes we forget to kind of just be open-minded and have a whole different perspective over here, you could be missing this whole opportunity. And that book helped me realize that I have to give, and I have to give, and I have to keep going, and I have to keep giving before you're really ever going to get in this business. Kind of back to the compound effect too, but it's this beautiful story. The authors are amazing. They actually made up this story in the characters to convey an important business message. And now I'm reading The Go-Giver Leader. So read the red book first, and then you can go into this. But this is where I learned how to respond rather than react. Because I could tell you guys a whole list and adjectives explaining what a leader is or what they do and things like that. But you have to really understand it so that in your moment, you have that trigger that goes off I'm a successful person. I will practice good thinking. What do I do? If you're a parent, I guarantee you guys know that. Right now, I want to strangle your neck because you're driving me crazy, but I can't because you're my kid and I love you. So then I put the parent hat on, right? It's the same thing in the coaching world. You can't just react to it. You need to respond. Oh, okay. We didn't do recognition. Sorry, I got really excited about mindset. I told you guys I'm like sweaty passion today. Let's do some recognition and then we'll wrap things up. Candace, go for it.
I wanted to shout out Lisa because she's Emerald tomorrow, and I know she worked really hard for this. It was her goal, and she crushed it. So super proud of her for that.
Congratulations. I was chatting with her the other night. Awesome. Congrats. I have Michael, I think it's Souza. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's hitting Emerald tomorrow. I'm so excited. Congratulations. Any other shout outs?
You said it right. You're good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thanks for listening. This basically was like a huge rant, but I just want you guys to know that it is completely mindset and action tied together in this business. So tomorrow when you wake up, and that's why I'm at where I'm at now 3 years later, because every single day that I've needed to do what I'm supposed to do, I do it. Just build that up, that mental toughness. Okay. I love you guys. Have a good night. See ya.